1. This is RTP. This is RTP180.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here tonight. Thank you to RTI and the Frontier Center for the invitation. I'm going to talk a little bit about military technology. I'm with the U.S. Army Research Office. I've got 5 minutes and I can talk really fast, and I got about 30 minutes of work to talk about right now. But that aside, we're upstairs. We have the 5th floor of this building, part of the 4th floor. We've been in the Research Triangle Park area for about 50 plus years, 1951 actually, about almost 70 years now. We moved to Duke University, ultimately moved first into RTP. We're involved in supporting basic research for the soldier. So one of the things we do in the Army Research Office is invest funds around the globe. In this particular image, I got the U.S., but we have offices in London, Tokyo, Sao Paulo, and Santiago. If you look at this, we have several key things that we look at in the universities, and that's to drive science to develop solutions for Army needs. The other is to conceive and exploit new science, new opportunities, creating crazy new ideas that the soldier might carry with them, technology they might use. We also look to accelerate that basic research from universities into industry, and from industry into the hands of the soldier. And I'm going to give one example of that when I move through this. I'm delighted to be on the stage tonight. Glad to be here with my fellow speakers that I do work with very actively. At least 2 of them are under contract to me. But what it boils down to, we want to leverage the S&T coming out of the university industrial system, strengthen the university industrial partnerships, bring people together in forums like this, communicate what our needs are. And then ultimately, since we don't have a particular gadget or widget that we're involved in, we want to, provide unbiased expert opinions on new science and prevent technological surprise in the battlefield. Ultimately, we educate and train the science and engineer workforce for the Army and the DoD for the future, because the Army, DoD, Navy, Air Force, all the services have labs around the country investing research dollars and doing research related to needs of the warfighter. So what does a soldier need? So I obviously had to inject my wife into this. On my left, you'll see here myself and Maggie, my business partner in life, working with our research team at Kasane, Botswana, working on research related to all kinds of things, whether it's conservation or ranger things or military things in the field. That's our research back. I always get pictures of the butt end of animals. It's unfortunate. But that's what happens. But on the same hand, what is it that the soldier needs? Well, it's a little bit of everything. At the end of the day, we go to work, we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we get dressed, we get in our car, and all the things we might need, whether it's clothing, military gear for the dog, which you'll see down here, the gas mask, the helmet, the camouflage, the meals ready to eat. My wife just got back from spending time in Kabul, Afghanistan, and it may be the first striptease you got on show. At the end of the day, people like myself, many of them, some of them in this audience, I don't know how many people in the audience have family that are in the military. Raise your hand real quick. There you go. You know that they're just ordinary people. And at the end of the day, they may be wearing a suit at some point, or they may, and then they come home, they may go to reserve duty, they may do all kinds of things, they may be in the audience, but then they're going to wear a uniform. And the same things that they used in war are the same things we use in our office every day. So, one day you're an individual, we're investing research in all kinds of things related to what the soldier might need and use. The next day, you're a soldier, an individual. So research is done. I'm taking the rest off. That would take way too long. I don't have about 5 minutes. I don't want to scare all of you. But what it boils down to is, at the end of the day, is research on the helmet, the food they ate, the gas mask, the communication networks that they use, the radios, the phones, everything like that. We're interested in science and technology that relates to that. And Maggie just went over to Kabul, Afghanistan, and I was delighted by the fact when she was issued all of her gear that it was stuff that spun out of programs that came from industry and academia, whether it's a sensor, a decontaminant, the camouflage, the body armor that she's wearing. So those are the kinds of technologies. Obviously, most people traditionally think of the helmet, the body armor, and things like that, but it goes all the way to, like I said, the food, to the capabilities of the military working dog, which I got up here. This is Thor, most obedient dog I've ever had. Don't have to feed or water him. To the gas mix. It's amazing what we're interested in. Now, how do we get to these particular technologies, and how do we get into that discussion, and what are the needs of those technologies that get out there? Well, this is the DoD process. Soak this in. I can work you through this if you'd really like me to. But the reality of it is, actually, this particular slide won an award, I think, from Wired Magazine. It's the craziest slide from the Pentagon. But it really is the integrated technology transition life cycle description at the highest level. And part of that's to protect us and buy good items for the soldier and not waste research dollars or waste developmental dollars. But in reality, a lot of this is a practical process that goes on every day. And even things from ARO, the Army Research Office's programs, have gotten into this life cycle of processes and are now fielded with the soldier. Wow, that was quick. Nevertheless, one of the things that you definitely need to worry about in the long game of technology development is when you're working with the soldier, there's certain requirements that you have to have. Wade, come here. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to think not just about the sensors, the capabilities, the technologies, but you've got to be ready when you're taking things out to the battlefield. And, you know, you can take and develop a watch, a clock, or something like that, but you know what the soldier's going to end up doing with that? It's going to have to survive. The technology is going to be durable and strong to go into the war fighter's hands, to use in the battlefield. So it's got to be able to stand this. And you know what's really going to happen to this at the end of the day? Well, you know it. They're going to stomp it. It went flying somewhere. But at the end of the day, it's about thinking about how to use technology, take it into the field, and develop new ideas, new capabilities. I got an example here of a sensor that I'm not going to go into, obviously, that is in the hands of the warfighter that came out of a university effort, partnering with a small business, and ultimately is used in sensing chemical agents, responding to the spy threats that occurred in the UK. So you never know where the technology is going to come from. You don't know what you can get to the soldier's hands, but there's plenty of opportunities. And the real thing I need to get across is it's about communication, talking with people like myself, talking with the partners here that are also going to be speaking about the capabilities you might be developing and where could they fit in the hands of the soldier. With that, I work with dogs, so I started salivating when that bell went off. So you were right. You had it on the slide. Thank you.